Coming up on today's Wild West, we'll take you horseback to see the wild Mustangs of the Eastern Sierra. You'll meet the mule lovers of mule days. Plus, the sage rock cowboy music of Bren Hill and the western art of John Wayne pal, Olaf Wieghorst. Today's Wild West, up next. The Wild West. It's still out there. We'll show you how to find it. This is today's Wild West. It is a sight few people will ever see. Wild Mustangs doing battle in the remote high desert along the California-Nevada border. A band of 4 Mustangs is attempting to join up with the 5 on the right, but the stallion leading the bigger group is not interested. And now his harem of 4 mares joins the attack, charging in to drive the smaller band away.
I think it's perfect. You got the wild horses and you got their home, which is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in the world.
I am among the very fortunate few to witness this amazing display on a Mustang viewing expedition with the Rock Creek Pack Station.
There's a lot of behavior you don't even read in any books. The wild horses teach you that.
Ivana Krohn is our expert guide on this 4-day horseback trek into the Pizona area of the Inyo National Forest. For 17 years, the native of what was then Czechoslovakia has been guiding visitors to observe the Mustangs that live in this wilderness. It is a labor of love.
I always had this close relationship with horses since I was younger, and I think it's my inner connection. The wild horses are very special. You got to have it and feel it inside, otherwise it's hard to explain. The mares fight more with the back feet, stallion more with pawing the front feet.
Rock Creek is among the few Eastern Sierra outfitters that offer trips every spring into this rugged area, about 50 miles north of Bishop, California. The horseback trek offers the opportunity to get a close-up look at the Montgomery Pass wild horse herd. Several hundred animals, often roaming in small bands, have called this area home for hundreds of years. And half the fun of seeing them is the chance to experience the unspoiled, wide-open country they call home. Awesome country, huh?
It's beautiful.
Our group of about a dozen adventurers, led by expert wranglers, first left civilization behind for a half-day ride to the base camp we'd call home for the next few days. Every morning we'd mount up on well-trained horses and 1 mule to ride out in search of the sometimes elusive Mustangs. We hit the jackpot that day we saw that skirmish between the 2 bands, but even when the Mustangs kept out of sight, their signs were everywhere.
We actually, in a way, do see the horses in different form because we see all where they rolled in the ground. We can see the hoof prints of the lone stallion. We see all the little stud paths where the stallions like to march their territory. And we can see where they were, what they were doing. We can even see if it was a stallion and a herd or foals. And we can just read their life by the hoof prints here. So the tracking is other part of viewing the wild horse life here.
The Montgomery Pass Mustangs are perhaps the most truly wild horses left in the United States. Mountain lions that often prey on young foals, along with the sick, lame, and the old, have largely kept the population in check.
Part of being a wild horse is you live and die out here, huh?
We see a lot of skeletons. We've seen that one. I can show you a couple more next couple days.
Yeah.
They died, the bones are here.
That natural balance here has prevented overgrazing, so there's been no need for the federal government that manages wild horses to do any roundups or removals. Mustangs were first protected by an act of Congress back in 1971. Before then, so-called Mustangers were free to take whatever horses they could trap and capture.
And they'd run the Mustangs from the top of the canyon down into this.
We come across some relics of that bygone age as we ride through a canyon.
So that old piece of wood, it's really old, you can tell. So that's the end of the gate, and so they just you could pick that up and swing it over here and close it. Once you run the Mustangs in, those long poles, if you stood them up, you know, it'd be a pretty tall fence line right there that they couldn't get over.
I tell you, just the chance to get back in this country is worth the price of admission, you know?
Yeah.
There's no better way to see this country than on the back of a horse. And you don't have to be any great rider to come on this adventure.
Hope you're great. mule that I had to ride on, Gem.
Gem's a gem, huh?
She is a gem.
We'll keep our mounts at a walk as we ride along, the perfect pace to soak in the magnificence of this country. Besides, we've come to see Mustangs, and we don't want to spook any wild horses we may come across. After riding through an immense meadow of sage and climbing a hilltop, we drop down on the other side.
Just spotted a band of wild horses out there.
And there they are, 4 Mustangs, including a striking buckskin mare.
Yes, the stallion is on the lookout. He's looking for any kind of danger. So now we stopped here to make sure we all get a good viewing, because as we near closer, if they're uncomfortable with us, we're gonna veer away, because we don't wanna disturb them. But if they're fine with us, we can slowly get a little closer.
The animals, perhaps as curious as we are, apparently don't mind our presence. We get as close as we can and use binoculars to get an even better look. While we watch, the horses drift off to our right, then pull up.
They wanted to really be able to smell us. So often when the horses are even more curious about us, they go exactly downwind, just to get a good sniff, and then they're happy, see?
With the snow-capped peaks of the White Mountains towering in the distance, we gaze at this living symbol of the American West. And then it starts to rain. No problem. We're prepared for the weather.
This is very special to see them this close. Normally when we saw them, like we spotted them first time, we used to not even let them know we're here. We tie the horses down and we kind of crawl on the belly behind a bush like a mile from here and watching with binoculars. So this is very special to see them this close up here.
And as the 4 animals begin to drift away, another group of Mustangs appears. It's the 5 who will soon be doing battle. The 2 groups come closer to check each other out before that clash unfolds. I could watch these horses all day, but we still have hours to go to get back to camp. That's another magnificent ride. Coming from crowded Los Angeles, it's encouraging to know places like this still exist.
Now what's going to be more interesting is when they catch me on fire.
Welcoming fire is blazing away as we get back to camp, where we'll reunite with other riders who split off in a different direction and share our stories of the day.
I had a great day. I loved riding through the canyons and the arroyos. That was really exciting.
I'm a little worried about these plastic pants, to tell you the truth. They're 400 degrees right now.
Whether it's late afternoon or first thing in the morning, our hard-working camp crew is busy keeping the fire stoked and preparing those hot meals that always taste so good outdoors. But our expert camp chef Gene admits wilderness cooking does have its challenges.
Most of the time it's the weather and the sand.
We got a lot of both today, huh?
Well, we got a lot of weather, not too much sand, but if the dries out and the wind comes up, I stay busy trying to keep the dust down.
This is a roughing it adventure, and we'll sleep in tents. Wilderness trips aren't as popular as they once were, but those who won't give up their flat screen for a few days are missing out.
I'm not great on sleeping outdoors, but hey, you know, it's the price you pay for such a wonderful time. Yeah.
There's so much to see up here. Just a short walk from our camp stood the ruins of a stone cabin, which apparently served as a toll booth on the stagecoach road that ran through here back in the day. And obsidian spear points are evidence of the Indians who called this country home.
Very, very cool. Very cool. I've never seen so many obsidian flakes anywhere.
Ivana showed us the remains of an old Paiute camp.
So what you guys see here is actually an entire base structure left behind. And this is like this round dwelling which used to be used with the heights and the, you know, little branches to cover up, and this was the round frame of it.
And the long poles standing up against a tree were used to harvest pine cone nuts, poles that may have been standing there for more than a century.
How we know this is not just a regular piece of wood laying here, right? This doesn't come from any kind of tree which grows here, anywhere near here. This is willow. And it had to be carried here at least 5 miles down there where we have water.
Steps away we see the stone carvings left behind by the more ancient residents of this place, mysterious petroglyphs on the face of a stone wall, a place Ivana calls an outdoor temple.
got big significant historical, spiritual significance, but even in your own soul you can probably feel this is a very special place.
On our last ride back to civilization, we enjoyed another encounter with Mustangs, a Montgomery Pass subgroup known as the River Springs herd. Among the 60 or so animals were a number of foals. Always a treat to see those delicate youngsters sticking close to mom. And nearby a stallion keeping watch over his harem of mares.
See how he put the head down and he arched his neck? So he's chasing his mares back, see that? That's how the stallion rounds up his mares, right there.
It's all fascinating stuff, and also the perfect way to disconnect from the stress and noise of the modern world. The Mustangs don't mind visitors who respect their space, and the Rock Creek Pack Station makes it all very easy to experience a remote and beautiful part of the West and its magnificent Mustangs that few people will ever see. Like all horses, Mustangs are special animals, as are their cousins, the mule, as we found out just down the road at Mule Days.
Give her a little kissy on the nose.
If you love mules, Bishop, California is the place to be every Memorial Day weekend.
It's like having a dog you can ride.
Mule lovers from all over the country flock to this small town on the eastern slope of the Sierra Nevada mountains for the annual Mule Days celebration.
It's just a bunch of people getting together who love mules.
The event showcases the versatility of these amazing animals and gives their owners the chance to show off their beloved mule and compete in most any equestrian discipline you can think of.
I'm competing in Western and English.
He was in the jumping this year, and he's also going to do the trail, and he started in Western dressage.
You might think of mules as stubborn or ornery, maybe prone to kick, but there's no evidence of that here.
No, not at all. If Cricket's backing up towards you, it means she wants your rear end scratched.
They're pretty smart as well.
They know their names, and it doesn't take them very long to learn our language.
And apparently some can even talk.
And he says he's training me.
Max tells you that?
Yeah.
The mule?
Yeah.
So you can talk to him?
Yeah.
The competitors are of all ages and include lots of young people, like Angela Greer, who won first place in mulemanship.
It's a pattern to see how well you can control your mule.
There's cowboy-type competition as well.
There's Barney Skelton riding the Lane Ranch Company mule named April, 745.
And contests for even the smallest of the breed, like Bodacious Babe.
She's a miniature mule.
Having fun?
Yeah.
Along with little mules, little people are here for the weekend too.
They check cattle with us and drive around in the pickup.
Like Madeline and her sister Annie, here with their donkeys Stella and Mama Burro.
We lost this animal several years ago in a bad snowstorm, and we gave her up for dead after searching with snowmobiles for a few weeks. And when she emerged in the spring, she had a foal on her side, a fat, healthy baby. So that's how she got the name.
The family's down from the ranch in Oregon, where they raise and train mules they bring here to sell. But the best part is just being here.
Oh, probably just doing this, playing with the girls.
In fact, the more time you spend at Mule Days, the more it seems like the mules are just an excuse for a very big family reunion.
You come up here, and this is home, and everywhere we go, mule people are family.
This is my 31st year coming down here. Couldn't come without bringing an animal or two, but every bit as much here for the really good friendships.
After 40 years or more, it's like coming back to old home week.
Cheryl Gressley's 5 kids grew up coming to Mule Days.
Well, I've been coming since I was 3 years old or younger.
One look at her buckle, and you can tell that Mickey's pretty good at this game.
We won Champion Gymkhana 2015 at the Slender Cattle Company Mule Show.
But the competition is always friendly.
One of the people in our group fell off and broke her arm at a recent mule show, and everybody's been stepping in and feeding her mule and cleaning her pens, and we all take care of each other.
Literally, it's our people. I can't really put it too much differently than that. These are folks who salted the earth. They live the Western lifestyle.
The good vibes can be felt as well inside at the vendor booths.
You gotta dress the part, I guess.
Larry Bitterman was offering his very cool Old West frock coats that can bring out your inner Wyatt Earp. The Silver Mountain String Band dropped by Larry's booth at Old Frontier Clothing Company to provide some ambiance.
We have a great market here. We love it. It's easy.
Just steps away, the ladies of Lucky Star were offering their very unique collection of vintage Western goodies to decorate your home on the range.
People who haven't seen it for years and years and years come here to buy the pieces to make their homes warm and Western.
All kinds of cool stuff here for cowboys and cowgirls, like custom hats, cowboy boots of every description, and don't forget the bling, Native American style.
By Navajos and Zunis and Hopi Indians. All sorts of fun stuff. A lot of people like to collect or wear.
There's also equipment for backcountry packers.
Pack saddles, panniers, anything to do with packing.
The gear show, the competition, good friends, and all those wonderful mules. In the end, Mule Days is really all about just one thing.
Well, it's really about fun.
Yeah. Mule Days! Mule Days!
There's more music just ahead. The Sage Rock of Bren Hill. Cowboy singer-songwriter Bren Hill on stage with his band at the annual Mule Day celebration in Bishop, California. Singing his original songs about the Western way of life, the high country, ranchers, cowgirls, branding time. Bren lives the life he sings about, as evidenced by the broken arm from a recent riding accident.
Yeah, I broke this at a Brandon last week. It's been interesting to get used to playing guitar with this stupid thing on, but yeah, I still cowboy as much as I can.
It's cowboy music a little more rock and roll than most.
You know, I think of myself as a sage rocker. It's probably cowboy music that's more inspired by the West Coast than, you know, Nashville and Appalachia.
While the tunes may have a big beat and a bit of an edge, they also have plenty of heart that expresses a deep love of the American West, its people, and the often difficult lives of those who work the land.
If I do have a gift, it's the ability to see inside the soul of the people who really do this for a living, and to understand their plight and be able to sort of portray that through music.
His 11th CD and first faith-based record, Spirit Rider, goes a bit deeper into what cowboy life and life itself is all about.
My faith is a very important part of my life, but I've also felt very close to God on the mountain. So you don't have to be a church-going guy to relate to this record. Hopefully, that was my goal.
All I know is that I've got to break free to the high country.
The title track memorializes Terrell Weston, a Utah rancher killed in a recent tragic accident. Bren was asked to perform at the memorial service.
It was one of the highest honors of my life, and you know, those are the things that really mean the most to me at the end of the day is have I written something that has really inspired someone or touched someone's life?
They don't understand the changing of times. My little boys get cancer.
Bren and his family have had their own well-publicized heartaches and struggles when his then 2-year-old son was diagnosed with brain cancer. Now 9 years old, Bren calls his son Briggs a walking miracle.
A record like Spirit Rider is something that I feel more capable of because I, you know, have felt very close to God over the last few years, and I certainly understand other people's trials a lot better.
The tight-knit cowboy community stepped up in a big way to help Bren and his family during those difficult days with prayers, support, and a number of benefit concerts from Western music icons and personal friends like Michael Martin Murphey, Dave Stamey, and Bren's mentor, the great Ian Tyson.
One for the legend from Alberta. I look at Murph and Ian Tyson, Michael Martin Murphey and Ian Tyson, as two of the greatest songwriters that ever lived. You know, genre notwithstanding.
When you ask where have they gone, well, they're gone like the MC Kevin.
Good songs are what cowboy music is all about, and writing them is what Bren's work is all about.
This is the canyon I remember oh so well.
I strive to be a good songwriter. I hope, you know, that one of the things they'll say over my coffin is that he was a good songwriter.
The price of diesel's up $1.15 since they struck out in spring.
For Bren, cowboy music is not just an entertainment career, it's a personal mission.
You know, I feel compelled because I love the lifestyle, but I think more because I love the people that are real. And, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've sold a lot of CDs off stage, and I've never had a bounce check. I mean, you talk about good people. These are the best.
The ranch life has never been easy, but perhaps in the 21st century, it's never been harder.
But the cowboy's an adaptive character, and you know, I think that's what's he's gonna survive because he finds a way.
If you're gonna be true, you're gonna have to be strong.
Bren can certainly relate. He's only chosen what may be the toughest genre in the music business.
It's an extremely challenging way to make a living. Most, I think, people don't quite understand how challenging it is to survive in the arts. But I really feel like if I didn't keep doing this, I really feel like I'd be letting these people that have supported me down. And, you know, and those people that are real to the core, that are living this lifestyle, that are putting food on our table and risking their lives to do it. You know, I don't know that they would have a voice in pop culture if it wasn't for cowboy music. I think we are their voice.
For years, Bren was one of the youngsters in Western music, a field long dominated by more seasoned performers. After some 20 years, he was about to turn 39 when we talked, no longer the new kid on the block, but as committed as ever to his mission.
As long as there are cowboys, there will be cowboys and cowgirls that reach for their guitar and their notepad to write songs about it. It's just something that we feel compelled to do.
It's so expressive, it's so alive.
Long after the end of his remarkable life, the Western art of Olaf Wieghorst still touches the hearts of those who see it.
It's so full of feeling. I love it.
At the museum in El Cajon, California that bears his name, a rare retrospective of the work of the man known in his day as the Dean of Western Art. 42 original Wieghorst oil paintings, plus sculptures, some never before seen in public.
This is very rare. The last time a show like this was put on was more than 20 years ago, and it did not have this large of a collection.
Wieghorst was truly the last of his kind, the last man to paint the Old West who actually lived it.
He was the last painter after Russell and Remington to capture the real essence of the cowboy, the West, the Indians.
And especially the horse. He grew up horseback, not out west, but as a 9-year-old circus trick rider in his native Denmark. Reading about Buffalo Bill and dreaming of life as a cowboy, Olaf couldn't speak English when he stepped off a boat in New York in 1918 with $1.25 in his pocket.
He had the address of an aunt and uncle that lived in New York. He spoke no English, and he got on the subway and he spent 3 days riding underground New York trying to find them. Finally, he met a man who could speak Danish, and the fella got him to his aunt and uncle's house.
Olaf joined the U.S. Cavalry and was stationed along the Mexican border during the days of Pancho Villa. Following his army stint, he became a New Mexico cowboy, working for the Cunningham Ranch.
And their brand was the Quarter Circle 2C. And Olaf was so fond of the Cunninghams that when he left, he asked if he could incorporate that brand as part of his moniker on all of his paintings.
But the girl he loved was back in New York, where Olaf returned and put his equestrian skill to work as a legendary officer with the New York Police Mounted Patrol.
He was always painting, and he would sell paintings on the sidewalk on Saturdays and Sundays around Central Park.
Retiring from police work in 1944, Olaf took his family west and settled in El Cajon. The popularity of his work exploded. In the 1950s, Dwight Eisenhower became the first of 4 American presidents to hang a Wieghorst in the Oval Office.
Ronald Reagan was a great fan of Olaf's. He had Olaf to the White House, and Ronald Reagan said about Olaf Wieghorst that lots of other artists had tried to capture the romance of the West, but Ronald Reagan said none of them did it better than Olaf Wieghorst.
John Wayne was a fan, featuring Olaf's art in his films and casting the man he called the Swede in several of his pictures. And Olaf Wieghorst became a treasured friend to those who knew him in El Cajon.
So when you look at an Olaf Wieghorst painting, you see not just that painting, but you see the man. You see that wonderful generosity and that great character.
Former Congressman Duncan Hunter was among the crowd at opening night of Reflections of Olaf, a celebration not just of the art, but of the man who created it.
He was bigger than life. He was a big, generous, immensely strong guy. He was a great character and had great character.
It's art that tells a story
of what the West was like, what the people was like, and what the life was that they led. That's it for now. We're back next time with more cool stuff from today's Wild West. I'm Mark Bedore. We'll see you down the trail. For more information on the people and places featured in today's Wild West, or to order show DVDs and books, visit todayswildwest.com.